Okay, so I want to go over some instructions for our predicting weather project. Using the guiding questions below as your rough draft, show your understanding of air masses, rain shadows, and fronts. You can be creative in how you show your understanding. Some options would be making a video, creating a slideshow using Google Slides, making a narrated presentation using Adobe Spark, or showing your understanding on paper, such as Google Docs, and turning that in. If you choose to show your understanding by answering the questions below, remember to be thorough in your responses. Using full sentences, the rubric at the bottom of this document shows you how to earn full points. So here's this document. You kind of think of this as a rough draft. You can turn this in if you're really thorough in your answers, or you can make a slideshow. Or I'm going to show us how to make an Adobe Spark video. So part 1 has a satellite video or photo of Washington State. What are a few observations you can make about our state from this image? What's the difference between a continental air mass and a maritime air mass? There's a short video for you to watch, and it's some predictions of how the wind's going to move over Washington State. What type of air mass do you think we're having? This one you'll notice is very similar to the assignment we did last week where we were looking at Oregon, except this time we're looking at Washington State. The cities in green are on the west side of the Cascade Mountains. The cities highlighted in yellow are on the east side. And then there's a few questions about that. What is a rain shadow? Looking at the satellite photo, you'll notice the left side or the west side of Washington State is significantly more green than the east side of Washington State. So here's Washington State. One side is green, one side is nowhere near as green. And then there's a few questions here. Talk about what would happen if a cold front was coming to your area, and what about a warm front. And then here's our rubric. It's graded on 4 different topics here. So you can take a minute to read through that. I'm going to help us create an Adobe Spark of this. So here we'll click on this, go to Adobe Spark. It'll ask you to sign in. We're going to say teacher or student, log in with our school account, continue with Google. Well, personal or company or school account. This is a school account. Then it says tell a story. We are going to make a slideshow video today. It wants us to give it a title. So I can say weather project Olson. Click next, and then it says pick a template, or you can start from scratch. I think I'll just start from scratch. Here's a quick video that you can watch. It tells you how to use it, but I'm going to show us how to do the first few slides. So we can click on here for what we want in our slide. So we can say, do you want video, text, photo? I just want some text right now. I can say weather project Mr. Olson. You can make the text bigger or smaller. But maybe I want another slide. So to make a new slide, there's this giant plus button in the lower left corner. Here we get a second slide. So, it says what are some observations you can make about our state. So I'll come over here, put in a text box, make it a little smaller, and then down here is where I'd start to put some of my answers. I'd write something out, write another observation, and try to have a few observations that you can make from the satellite photo. So then we can make another slide to help answer the next question. And we can just copy and paste the question. Text. Make it smaller. And then you can answer the question down below. One of the cool things about Adobe Spark is it lets you make a video, not just a slideshow. So I can come back over here to this first slide. I can say this is the weather project by Mr. Olson. So here are my observations. But I can record some audio to go with it. So I'll click and hold this microphone down to record some audio. After looking at Washington State, I noticed that one half of the state is green while the other half appears to be more yellow. So I'm kind of just reading on what's my slide. I can hit play here. After looking at Washington State, I noticed that one half of the state is green while the other half appears to be more yellow. And maybe you didn't like that. You can hold the microphone. You can redo it. I can go to the next slide and say, and I can read my answer to this one. The difference between a continental air mass and maritime air mass is, and this is where you would explain it. And then you can hit this play in the lower left and you'll see it puts it all together as one nice project. After looking at Washington State, I noticed that one half of the state is green while the other half appears to be more yellow. The difference between a continental air mass and maritime air mass is, and this is where you would explain it. So you would just kind of keep going. You'd make another slide. If you can drag it down here if it's in the wrong order. Or you can kind of copy and paste some of this. And you'll just tell me about what you've learned from this project. To turn it in, there are two ways. You can share it by inviting me and putting your teacher's email. Or you can download it. And this is the one I would recommend. So say download. It'll take a second to make your video and then prepare it for downloading. And you can do a computer. So then you'll go to your assignment where you're supposed to turn it in. Normally your assignments are given to you right here. But here you can say add or create. So we'll go ahead and click add or create. It's going to ask, do you want to add a file, Google Doc? When I come over here, it looks like it finished downloading. I'm going to add a file. And then on your computer, it should show up as the most recent thing. For me, I have to select a file. You may have to click that too, and it should be the first thing that appears in here if it's the most recent thing you've downloaded. So I'd click on my weather project, put in there, hit upload. Then it adds my video here. It'll take a second to load, and then I can hit turn in, and then that video is there. This also has autosave. There's a few other things. You can change some of the layout. You can give it a different theme or color. You can resize some things. You can change the background music if you want. But this is just here to be a more interactive, a cleaner Google slide, and to give you practice recording your voice. If you have questions, feel free to email your teacher.